What is happening, Magnus Saints? It's time for celebration. It's a celebration. Ding dong, the wokey woke is gone. Ding dong, the wicked woke is gone. Hopefully. Oh, let's check this out, shall we?
You know, it really is funny, the things you learn when you're on open bar. There we were on Thursday night chatting away about the box office success of Deadpool and Wolverine and whether it might inspire a change of creative direction at Marvel when Chris Gore just casually dropped in this little bombshell.
Yeah.
I do know people who work at Marvel. They have cleaned house. They quietly, months ago, fired all the producers that could be labeled activist.
Really?
Yes. Unlike Lucasfilm is lost.
Did he make his voice crack?
Lucasfilm is lost. Yes. Could be labeled activist.
Really?
He made the drinker's voice crack. When you make our voice crack, you know we're surprised. I actually do it for comedic effect a lot of times, but sometimes if you really catch me off guard, my voice will crack. Whoa, wait a minute, what?
Lucasfilm is lost. They're lost. That's it. They are doubling down on all the nonsense, right? You will never get anything good out of Lucasfilm and Star Wars. That's it. Kevin Feige recognizes. He even I'm not going to say exactly. Basically, he said that we tried it. It didn't work. He's talking about Phase 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't work for a long time, and they kept doing it. That's the insanity behind it.
That's it. We tried it. Didn't work. No Kang. None of these side characters that...
By the way, so maybe I'll say this in every video, just so you all get a chance to hear me. But I was doing an experiment yesterday when you guys, when I polled you guys to see if you wanted me to do a reaction to Amber Rose. That was going to be the announcement at the end. I'm like, you are part of an experiment. So the 70% of you said you didn't care for me to watch the Amber Rose video. And I wanted to see if it translated to views. And it kind of did. It was one of those things where it performed half as well as my normal videos would in a certain range. And it also, let me think. It performed kind of like certain videos that I'll do just because I want to do them. I've told you, sometimes I just do videos because I want to do them. So it doesn't matter how many views it gets to me. It's just as long as it's something I want to do. And let me see, I'm looking at it right now. It's performance. It's around 11,000 views behind, I guess, the bottom end of the normal range or something like that. So I wanted to see, because sometimes there's videos that people will tell me they don't really want to see, and I think they've actually performed well. But that was an experiment, see? So this applies to this, you see. I asked you what you wanted, which is something that they never do. They don't ask you, they just tell you what they're going to do, and they just do it, and they put it in there. But for me, I asked you. And then, after you told me that the majority of you didn't want to see it, I did it anyway to see if the views would coincide. And guess what? It didn't get as much views. The same thing with Disney. Okay, so give the fans what they want. Okay?
Don't have the legacy of classic characters. And if Deadpool and Wolverine proves anything, you've heard that phrase, male and pale is stale. That was spoken aloud across studios. But if you look at box office this year, I would say male and pale is money.
In the quiet words of the Virgin Mary, Come again.
In short, it seems like Marvel are getting a bit tired of losing billions of dollars and turning their own fans against them by trying to inject the message into what used to be crowd-pleasing general-purpose entertainment and are quietly changing course. And the first step down that path is to clean house behind the scenes, getting rid of the activists and the idiots that have derailed so many projects since Endgame. I mean, it only took them like 5 years to recognise a problem that people like me have been pointing out since 2019, but hey, better
how many
to
years?
recognise a problem projects since Endgame. I mean, it only took them like 5 years to recognise a problem that people like me have been pointing out since 2019, but hey, better late than never, I guess.
Yeah, when did was Captain Marvel 2019? When was Captain Marvel released?
In the United States.
2019. And now is when they're that wasn't working. We're gonna try something different.
And damn man, they really flew under the radar with this one. I had no idea this had been going on until Chris brought it up, and I suspect that was the intention all along. But the more I think about it, the more sense it actually makes. Big companies like Disney Marvel aren't in the habit of straight up admitting that they've screwed up and need to take drastic action to undo it all. Instead, like any good politician that can see the way the winds are blowing these days, what they actually do is quietly change position, and if anyone questions them on it, they just claim that this is what they always believed. But this little revelation does tie in with a growing trend I've noticed in movies this year, a shift away from overt politicization and divisive pandering, and a renewed focus on more universal crowd-pleasing entertainment. For example, Lee Chung, the director of Twisters, straight up admitted that he refused to put any references to climate change into his movie because he believes films like this should be about entertainment, not lecturing people. There is absolutely no way a director would have had the balls to say something like that even a couple of years ago. Not just that, but the movie dares to show both the male and female leads as competent, intelligent and courageous individuals, complementing rather than competing against each other, with only one side ever allowed to come out on top. Inside Out 2, by all accounts, largely steers clear of any political pandering and messaging, and with more than $1.5 billion at the box office, it represents a surprising return to form for Pixar after disastrous failures like Elemental and Lightyear, both of which were criticised for indulging in heavy-handed identity politics. Oh my goodness, it's almost as if people just want fun, escapist entertainment that lets them forget their troubles for a couple of hours. And if you actually give it to them, then they'll turn up for your movie in droves.
How about that? You guys need to stop acting goofy. Gosh.
Case in point, Deadpool and Wolverine, which has only been out for like 2 weekends and is already well on its way towards $1 billion. And strangely enough, it's a movie that flat out ignores and even rejects most of the tedious tropes of modern Marvel movies. The insufferable know-it-all girl bosses who are always the best at everything, the awkward current day-isms, and the clumsy attempts to replace legacy characters with more diverse alternatives. For the most part, it's just a fun, irreverent, old-fashioned superhero movie, and whatever its shortcomings compared to its predecessors, is still miles more entertaining than anything else Marvel have produced in recent years. Jesus, it even has the balls to openly mock the MCU's recent string of failures, which is a pretty frank admission from Marvel that they know they've fucked up. Many a truth is spoken in jest, as they say, and this is one truth that they've ignored for far too long. Also, if I had to take a wild guess, I'd say that the rumours of a resurgent DC under James Gunn might have factored into their change of direction as well.
Yeah, well, hey, Marvel, did you take a look at that damn Superman suit? Okay, if that is any indicator, there is not going to be a resurgence of the damn DC universe. But we shall see. It could just be ugly outfits, great movie. You never know.
The message and the culture surrounding it are the kind of things you can only afford to indulge as long as you're on top, when there's nobody to challenge you and audiences are so loyal to your brand that they'll keep paying for it even when it leaves an increasingly sour taste.
I often wonder if there's like an executive over at Marvel that didn't like the fact that Gunn left and went to DC. And when he saw the picture of that Superman suit, he was like, perfect.
Taste in their mouth. That time has long since passed, both for Marvel and for Hollywood in general, and it seems like they all know it. Add all these different factors up, the purge of activist producers at Marvel, the string of well-received and politically neutral summer movies, the thinly veiled admission that a change of course...
You know, every time I see that, I think of M. Bison's Psycho Crusher.
needed, and it actually seems that Hollywood might be learning from their mistakes at last. Their solution might be happening quietly, discreetly, behind closed doors, but it is happening all the same. The message that's blighted entertainment for the better part of a decade is finally dying. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. So what does the future hold for Marvel and the rest of Hollywood? Can we look forward to a new golden age of entertainment free from the message? Well, maybe in the long term, but as Chris Gore pointed out on Open Bar, movies take years to get from concept to completion, and there's...
Yeah, and they got more trash coming out the ass end of the funnel. I told you guys about this, especially with animation and stuff. Certain garbage still on the conveyor belt. It's like, all right, stop making it. And they're telling them all the way down there, but the products right here are about to come out. So we're still going to see some garbage.
There's an awful lot of crap in the pipeline that still has to be shit out first before we can get to the better stuff.
I've been saying this too.
Remembering that the message is far from the only problem with modern entertainment, and removing it won't suddenly make everything amazing again. Madam Web, for example, had no real political axe to grind, but it was still a horrendously written, shoddily directed, and badly acted disaster that shamed the very concept of superhero movies. A lot of work still needs to be done to get things back on track, and most of it doesn't involve just firing people who have been causing trouble behind the scenes. And even when that better stuff finally comes around,
it smells like a new car.
That a good chunk of the audience will have grown up and moved on to other things, and they won't be coming back. I don't think the MCU grown up and moved on to other things, and they won't be coming back. I don't think the MCU will have grown up and moved on to other things, and they won't be coming back. I don't think the audience will have grown up and moved on to other things, and they won't be coming back. I don't think the MCU is ever going to be the insane money-printing machine that it was back in the late 2010s, when billion-dollar movies became a routine occurrence, but I think it can still be a viable franchise with enough work, especially if they can get their ridiculous budgets under control again. As for the rest, well, some studios are going to cling to the old ways until the bitter end, even if it means burning down every single IP that they own. And
they're going to keep bringing out big old piece of trash after piece of trash after piece of trash after piece of trash.
Yes, I'm looking at you, Lucasfilm, but one way or another, the end is coming no matter how much they refuse to acknowledge it. The message and the people who pushed it into every single thing...
I don't understand if Disney is the parent company. How can they allow these two companies to operate independently like that? It's like the people at the top should be like, stop! You know what I'm saying?
That they made is finally on the way out. And good fucking riddance. Believe me, you won't be missed.
Nope.
Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Like the Teletubbies say, bye-bye. Post comments down below. Let me know what you all thought. If you enjoyed my reaction, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And get over and follow the Critical Drink Air. That rhymed, they play the game. Bars! 10 million subscribers. Woo!